On March 31st, 2025, CIG's community team reported that they were changing the entirety of the referral reward system, including for the backers that are using the code, as well as the backers who have issued the code out, offered the code out, and are getting those tiered rewards. Thank you to my subscribers for putting up with me. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And let's dive into what we're dealing with here. So CIG has managed to rile up streamers and long-term backers at the same time. And don't forget, in many cases, that's both groups at the same time, strangely. Although, obviously, the sample size of long-term backers is a huge proportion of people from every walk of the community. And I would also mention that some more enthusiastic backers that have only had a year or two into the community have already tried to get some of their referrals in, because the referral rewards are pretty good. They include ships all the way up to a javelin if you get all the way at the end, over 2,000 referrals, and also more practical things, like at 10 referrals getting a Gladius with LTI, fully just as a reward. There are some things on the list that are not great. They're like rewards for Arena Commander and such. And that is one of the reasons that CIG has stated that they're really looking at reworking this. However, if they rework the latter, CIG has decided that they cannot keep the old system. So this would start with completely clearing everyone out to start from the same position. So basically resetting everybody to zero. This has upset a lot of people, because even people that only have a couple referrals have worked hard for those referrals. And that means that if they're not up to the next tier within the next 3 months, they will not be able to enjoy that next tier. And as such, they will basically lose those referrals, at least in the current plan. That's a shame, right? So if they lose those referrals, plain and simple, they just disappear into nothingness. Those hard bought with Google ad money or with hard work through their org mates and friends to recruit them to the game and get them to use the code before they set up their account, which is a very big frustration for many, because some people will set up their account and then it's too late to get them the code, even moments after. Basically means that they will not be able to get their rewards. So the few you do have that register as your referrals and successfully complete the whole process I'm going to go into in a minute are very hard to get. So I'm talking long-winded to say that. And the deconfliction here, and I want to define, is prospect versus recruit. Anybody who uses your code becomes immediately a prospect. So that means when they start their account, the second they start their account, they add that code, they become a prospect. Only once they buy into enough, they become a recruit. So they buy a game pack or something like that, bam, they are now one of your recruits. You get credit and they get 5,000 UEC. So with the reset, the loss of recruits above the last reward is the biggest issue, because plain and simple, if the system just goes straight to zero, you're not given the next tier, those essentially evaporated. All that hard work goes to nothing. And the bigger question for many is, what about prospects? There are some people like myself that have over 280, I think now, prospects, and that has taken years and years to accrue. And those prospects, should they get excited about the game, because a lot of people are wait and see on Star Citizen and in general about the project, I would be able to get recruits out of them currently. But with this reset, I will lose every single one of them. And I hear the people that are gleefully going, good, absolutely great. But it's taken me years upon years. I'm an original backer, for those who don't know. It's taken me a very, very, very long time to accrue the numbers I have. I am currently sitting, I think, like it's about 30 referrals, confirmed recruits away from the 200 point, which will give me Glatherous Scythe. And while this hurts, I see it more as hurting those that I have tried to help get their own referral rewards. So there are multiple people, I'm not going to single them out, that I have helped over the years. I've given them Google ad keywords, I've given them tips on what to do and how to go about recruiting people, and also advice on their friends and when to set up their codes and such, and when it's worth it and when it isn't. Like, for example, should you use it on your main account or an alt account, and when, and try to maximize on the referral rewards, like during a referral event program where you get a free ship and they get a free ship. How does that work? So there's a little bit of gaming there. Now, one of the things that is interesting that's a positive would be the meaningful rewards. So CIG's community team is saying that the idea of removing the arena commander bonuses at the 25 and 42 confirmed recruit level tiers would be a big boon to the process, that each rank should mean something, and also a bigger reward than 5,000 UEC for the incoming prospects that become recruits. So the people who actually use the code should get more out of it once they're in the game. I totally agree with those concepts. I really like that part of this. It's everything else that is giving me pause. And what I would say to CIG, if I could say to them anything, it would be do the increases to the UEC bonuses, let referral prospects remain, and then half the issue is immediately gone. So the non-recruits, just let them sit on the account and let them be effective on the new system, because only a percentage of them will ever sign up. So it's not that big of an ask, I think, by the community. And also give backers the next tier on the original list before July 1. That is the deadline. Just set it up so they get it. If they don't reach it by that point, that on June 30 or something like that, bam, they get the update. Because the alternative is letting all those numbers just basically evaporate. And you can set an upper limit. You can say, okay, everything but the Javelin gets the next tier for free. You have to be within a certain amount, but the Javelin, or it just doesn't count for the Javelin, whatever. Then everybody wins. People that are mad at streamers that are up at the ridiculous levels, that haven't quite got to the extremely high levels, that are on like the leaderboard, like more for somebody like that, they can get their one up in. And also the little guys that are just trying to get to the level, to the 10 tier or to the 24 tier or something like that, they can get 25 tier, they can get something out of it, even if it isn't the greatest benefit. And it is okay if it's the old benefit. Finally, I think one of the easiest olive branches that CIG could do is give Million Mile High Club access to everyone that is in the old or new systems that hits 42 recruits. And I mean paid recruits. I think that is a pretty arduous ask. And these are the most active members of the community that tend to have these recruits. People that put the effort in cost, time, resources, recruitment efforts, what organizational efforts, whatever it is, to get 42 recruits, have put in a ton of effort. They probably are by that point sitting on about 40 or 50 or 60 prospects, and they'll never see most of them, even if you let them keep the prospects. And the fact remains that that is a massive milestone. I feel that the Million Mile High Club should not be an empty fish tank. It should be an area that is a club that is recognizing the most active members of the community. And to me, this is a wonderful reward for many backers. Again, the bigger issue is not impacting huge streamers or whatever. You know they'll do fine in the new system, just like the old system. And I'm trying to be, I hope, as fair as possible with my recommendations to them as well. But the bigger focus is on the people that spend the time, effort, resources to get these recruits and the prospect pool from they build them from by the ones and twos. And I really feel for especially the people that use Google ad revenue, AdSense. I really feel for the folks that are pulling the videos out that are doing 20 views, 100 views, and they might get one referral over an entire period of multiple months. There are folks that have spent half a decade just to get to 10, and some of them are still sitting at 9 or 8. I personally know them, and I'm not going to single them out, but they exist. And regardless of how you feel about this situation, I just feel that CIG has time. You can put this cart back on the tracks, and just with a few minor tweaks, we can all be relatively happy. We can all walk away feeling like we got something real out of this. And most importantly, the community is strengthened by a brand new set of recruits, a wave of new backers that CIG needs for the project to become even more powerful and even greater. I can't find a problem with any of that. So that was kind of my little mix here. It's a shorter video. Let me know what you think of this. If you have any feedback. What you saw in this video is the Banu Ana set. This is a brand new set. It was out of the downspoke system. And I had a lot of fun with it, as well as the parallax rifle that's like an energy weapon, and also a Devastator shotgun that I thought had a wonderful paint job for this, even though it's not part of the set. So if you were interested in that, the Downburst set is available, I believe, still to this moment, like 30 USD or something like that. And as a reminder, it does not include the shotgun you saw. What it does include is a Corsair paint, the parallax with a Downburst camo paint, which I don't think fits the set that well, and the Banu Ana armor set. For the record, the Banu Ana armor set is fascinating to me, as it's a brand new set of Banu armor, modified by our friend Wicklow. You can buy on the store, or you can go visit him and get a variant, I believe, of it directly from him through rewards. I would be hesitant to use this in PvP, as you light up like a Christmas tree. It's even more obvious than the neon sets. So if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the shotgun, just so I'm fully completing this out, just to show I'm not baiting for comments, is the Ravager 212 Outcast Twin Shotgun. It was a reward from one of the last of the delivery mission contracts that we just went through before a line of mine. And I think the shotgun looks better with the Banu armor set than the parallax. Although the parallax is a very cool energy-based weapon. I welcome technology like this. Want to see more of it. Probably gonna tame it up, try to see if I can get a scope on there to kind of make it feel like a more complete weapon, and then use the shotgun for close range. Not with this armor set, if you get my drift. This was just for fun. Apologies, I had to take down the wildlife in the beginning. Apparently they went aggro, even though I was told by multiple people that they are passive. Even though I was shooting away, just happened to be next to them, they started getting aggressive when I started shooting. So I got a little nervous that they were going to take me down before I got the video in, and that would have been a really sad way to go down. So I did have to take one of them down, and then I extricated to let the rest of the herd be in peace. Sorry. Anyway, back to the referral rework. I think I've covered it as best I could. You're seeing on the video here a bunch of different posts that were covered by CIG. I hope they feel fair. I am not singling out any specific staff member. As I said, CIG community team has been stated to be running this, not just one person. It's more of just that person happens to be posting. If I had any criticism at all, I would say to the CIG community team that they are saying they're monitoring other chats and other posts that are coming up that are creating new threads about this in Spectrum. But apparently the moderators never got that message, because one of the most prominent, well-known CIG moderators is out in force shutting down every single thread that is posted outside of the official announcement thread. So yeah, it was a little awkward seeing that in the writing, saying, oh yeah, we're watching out for every one of these threads and reading it as feedback, not just here, but also in all the other posts. And they're all being shut down at the same time as that's being posted. A little weird, a little mixed messaging. But I understand. This is a controversial topic. I don't think CIG thought this was going to be that big of a deal. I think they thought people would be more excited about the idea of brand new ships, brand new rewards, easy to get at least the first levels, and I strongly believe they'll give away like an Avenger or something for just less than maybe 2 or 3 recruits or 5 recruits or something, so people can go, oh, I got a brand new ship out of this. But it's like, what about the overall package? What about the overall long-term backers that were doing this? How are they going to be made whole as well? And how can anyone trust this new system that could be reset in a year or two and this all happens again? Once it's happened once, it can happen again. At the bottom of the rankings that we currently have, it says, tune in for additional levels in the future or something like that, and the new ranks in the future. Above, obviously inferring above the Javelin and such, or maybe even in between other ones. That's clearly not going to happen unless CIG reverses course, and I don't think they will. I think they're going to just tune this course. So we'll see where this turns out. And again, put in the comments if you feel I'm kind of off course on this. I think people are still shocked to this day. I actually read them all, and if I feel like I can add anything to it, I gladly respond and try to engage. And you never know. I may have an update video on this, because I feel like I've kind of pulled that ripcord by bringing up this video. I need to kind of end it as well. So yeah, you never know if your thoughts are going to make it into my next scripts to work on them. For the betterment of everybody, hopefully. All right, take care. Have a good evening.